When you are fighting adversaries and get to feeling snarled up in petty maneuvers, remember this rule of military science. While in the midst of the minutia, suddenly you shift to a large perspective. Changing to great or small is an intentional part of the science of the art of war. It is essential for warriors to seek this even in the ordinary consciousness of human life. This mentality is critical to military science, whether large or small scale. This concern should be given careful consideration. So, this is detachment. You have to detach. You can't get caught in the minutia, and you also can't get caught in the large scale. You have to be able to see both of them. And when you feel like you've spent too much time in one, time to back out and see the other one. When you start when you start feeling bogged down, step back. Step back. Take the large perspective.
Let me ask you this: like, you're obviously well versed in a lot of like detachment, for example. Do you conduct like your everyday life just is
Yes.
on the forefront of your mind? I mean, I'm not saying you're detached the whole time, but like you'll detach at just a split second when you have to, kind of thing. Is it that available?
No, actually, I'm observing myself
the whole time.
The whole time.
Yeah.
Now, this is weird because sometimes people say you don't even enjoy your life, and that's not true. You come to jiu-jitsu with me,
Huge smiles.
I'm having fun, right?
Yeah.
I'm actually so detached doing jiu-jitsu, but I'm in the Zen mindset, right? My mind's not even there, so that's very pleasurable for me. But I'm not like detached when I'm playing with my 8-year-old daughter. I'm not detached when I'm hanging out with my family. I'm not in this big detachment mode. But if I'm dealing with one of my kids and one of my kids did something they shouldn't have done, or I'm detached then. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. When I'm dealing with a client and, they're having issues with something, I'm detached. A client starts getting mad at another client and I'm there, I'm detached. That's one of the benefits of Echelon Front. When we come into work with a company, we're de facto detached.
Yeah.
And they're always caught up in these crazy situations. These companies, well, not all of them, but even a company that's doing well, they've got things that they don't see because they're in the fight.
Yeah.
They're in the tactical battlefield. They're getting after it.
Yeah.
They got sales they got to do. They got numbers they got to reach. They got all these things going on. They got goals. They got raises that they're doing. They got all these things happening, and they're in it. So when we come in, we are detached. It's just inherent in what we're doing. Yeah. And it's very beneficial because we're detached from a leadership perspective, and that's what we're looking at.
Right.
So some companies might come in and they're detached, but they're not there to look at the leadership. They're there to look at the finances.
Right.
They're there to look at the process. A lot of companies need help with their process, and that's cool. There's consulting companies that come in and look at process. There's consulting companies that come in and look at finance. We're a consulting company that comes in and looks at leadership. And what we have is we've been doing it for so long, not just in the military, in the military, in the business world, that when we come in detached, it's very obvious for us to what's happening because we've seen it before.
Yeah.
We've seen it before.
Yeah, and in those cases, especially when you're quote unquote at work, I would imagine it's easy to just boom, detach.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is just your everyday life. You talk about like with your kids or something like that. Is it easy to boom detach at a moment's notice, or is it the kind of I think I gotta detach?
I think I'm conditioned to the point that when things start to escalate, I automatically detach.
Yeah.
Like when I see something, if I see, let's say, a lifeguard situation, I'm down at the beach or I'm down at the ocean and I see a lifeguard situation, something happening, I instantly detach and I'm looking around, I'm seeing where positions are, I'm seeing what we can do to help. I'm instantly detached. Whereas a lot of people are not detached at all. They're, oh my God, this is happening. Right. I'm instantly detached. Completely. Yeah. That's the kind of situation. Or even, if there's an escalation in the household of some kind, raised voices or whatever, which there's not a lot in my house. Yeah. But if there is, it's an instant detachment for me. It's an instant. When I hear my kid yelling, maybe raising his voice to my wife, it's instantly, it's not, why is that kid doing? No, it's like, okay, boom, I'm detached. I'm going in to find out what's going on.
Yeah.
I think I've conditioned myself to be like that. And I think that's why I always talk about you got to have those red flags. You got to identify what it is that you do as a human that makes you realize you're escalating too.
Yeah.
That's what you got to watch out for.
Yeah. Yeah, it really seems like that's like the goal, to make it, to have it be just like how you have it.
To have it conditioned into your brain that when things are escalating around you, it's a warning that flashes. You just go detach.
Automatic.
Detach right
boom.
now.
That's what happens.
We'll be walking down the street and there'll be some kind of a situation in the street. It's instant detach. It's instant. All right, what's going on? Where's the cops? Where's the cars? It's that's all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
Because really the default, I think, for your average person is it's not like, okay, what's the scenario? What's the problem to be solved? How do I solve it? It's more, how do I feel about this?
Now that we're thinking about it, I bet. So when I was training, I spent time in the training department of SEAL Team 1 training cell when I was part of cadre.
Hell yeah.
And then obviously I ran the training for the West Coast SEALs when I was at Tradet. And in both, this may have really helped me because in both those situations, I was an instructor. So therefore, while we would throw these hard problems at people, I would be, once again, de facto, I am detached because I'm not in the platoon that's going through the training. So I am detached. And so I always got to see how much more you can see when you are detached. So as I learned that over the years and saw over and over again that I could, even when I was a young SEAL in cadre at SEAL Team 1, I'm sitting there as an E5 SEAL, an enlisted SEAL, not in charge of anything, but I'm watching the situation unfold, and I can see what the solution is.
Yeah.
And the platoon chief can't see it, and he's more experienced than I am. He can't see it because he's in it. And so I would always just say, well, all I need to do is just step back, see what I used to be able to see when I was an instructor. Easy. Boom.
Yeah.
So I probably got to train my detachment by actually not being and participating, but watching. Be like if you sat around and watched street fights, like as a bouncer. Yeah. As a bouncer, you're sober. You're seeing it day in, day out. Eventually, as the longer that when you first became a bouncer and there was a fight, were you detached at all?
No.
You probably weren't. You were probably, there's a fight going on. Grab this guy. And then the more experienced you got, the more level-headed you got. You can always tell a good bouncer when they can come in, they can take control. They're not escalating themselves. They're detached. Yeah. So you probably achieved some of that as well.
Yeah, fully. Yeah, so it's like it's almost like you recognize just over and over again where the beneficial position is, and it's outside. It's not inside as far as mentally.
Yeah, it's outside your own head, not inside your own head.
Yeah. That's good, man. That's the goal right there.
It is.
Because, man, yeah,